Today we are going to see linear functions. And we are going to graph this function. Something that you have to know here about this function is that this part here represents that it is a function. Okay? In some books you're going to find, instead of having this, you're going to have y equal to negative 2x plus 4. But in this case, I'm using f of x equal to negative 2x plus 4. From this part, you can appreciate that here I have a negative. So when you have the graph, this negative means that the line is going to be decreasing. When you don't have a negative here in this part, when you have a positive, the graph is going to be increasing. And this graph has a lot of applications in many things in real life. So, for graphing this function, I'm going to do intersects. Intersects. I'm going to find the intercept in x and the intercept in y. So, how is that? I'm going to find the intercept in x when y is equal to 0. Okay? We're going to do that part first. So I'm going to rewrite this f of x equal to negative 2x plus 4. So I'm going to pass this part over here, negative 2x plus 4, and this part, which is y, I told you at the beginning, this part is y, you're going to replace it by 0, like that. And then you're going to isolate negative 2x plus 4 equal to 0, negative 2x. This positive 4, you move it to the other side, is going to be negative 4. So x is equal to negative 4 divided by negative 2. So x is going to be negative 4 divided by negative 2 is going to be 2. So I found that x is equal to positive 2. So my intercept in x is going to be 2, 0. Remember, this part here is going to be x, and this part here, in this case, is going to be y, because the value of the letter y is equal to 0 in this case. Now, we are going to find the intercept in y when x is equal to 0. So having our original function f of x equal to negative 2x plus 4. Remember that f of x is the same as y, so you can write it like that. Then you are going to replace the letter x in this case by a 0, because that's what we are doing here, plus 4. So y is equal to negative 2 multiplied by 0 is going to be 0 plus 4. So the value of y is going to be 4 basically. Then the intercept in y is going to be 0, 4. And then we have found our intercept in x, which is 2, and the intercept in y, which is 4. So after having the intercepts in x and the intercept in y, we are going to do the graph. Okay, having the intercepts. For example, how do you graph? This is a point and this is another point. So x, y. So in x, remember, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. Here you have the positives, negative, and negative numbers. Yes? Here you have negative numbers, positives, and positives. Okay, when are you going to graph 2 positive in x? So right here. 1, 2. Here you have the value of 2. Okay, in this case, positive 2. Then, x and y. What you're going to graph is y. And y is equal to 4. But positive. Remember, these parts above are the positive numbers in y. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you have the intercept in y. In this case, this value is equal to 4. Okay? Then, using your ruler, you're going to put on top of the 4 and the 2 over the points, and you're going to draw a line. So right here you have your graph that is going down that way. Remember, I told you at the beginning, if you have a negative here, the graph is going to be decreasing. But if you have a positive here, the graph is going to go the other way, the opposite direction. It's going to be increasing. So now we are going to see another exercise about graphing linear functions. So we have that the function today is 1/2 x plus 1. Okay, we have a fraction. So we are going to do this graph by using intercepts. So remember that the intercept in x, you're going to find it when y is going to be 0. So you write your exercise, f of x equal to 1/2 x plus 1. So where you have y, in this case f of x is y, so you're going to write 0 equal to 1/2 x plus 1. If you don't want to work like this, you can change it and you can have 1/2 x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so you don't work backwards. So 1/2 x, isolate, this is positive, on the other side is going to be negative 1. So x is going to be equal to, this is multiplying, this fraction is multiplying, so it's going to be dividing. Negative 1 divided by 1/2. And x is equal to negative 1. You do the reciprocal, change the division by a multiplication sign, and you are going to have 2 over 1. And here you have a 1. So x is going to be equal to negative 1 multiplied by 2 is going to be negative 2, and 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. So negative 2 divided by 1 is equal to negative 2. So my intercept in x is going to be negative 2. Now to find the intercept in y when x is equal to 0. So in this case, this exercise, okay, remember that f of x is equal to y, so you're going to have 1/2, and where you have x, you're going to write the 0 plus 1. Y is equal to 1/2 multiplied by 0 is 0 plus 1. So y is equal to 0 plus 1 is 1. So I have found my intercept in x, which is negative 2, and my intercept in y is equal to 1. So I'm going to write here my intercept so I can do the graph. Intercept in x is going to be negative 2, comma 0. And the intercept in y is going to be 0 because x is 0, comma 1 in y. And remember, the first number is x, the second number is y. X, y. Once we have the intercepts, we can do the graph. And remember, on the coordinate plane, this part, you have the positive numbers, so this part is the positives, these negatives, and this is negative numbers too. So x, negative 2 in x. Remember, this is the x-axis, so you're going to have here negative 2. This is the negative 2. Negative 1, negative 2. And in y, from 0 to 1, okay, this is y, this is positive, and this is negative. So y is positive. In that case, you're going to have here your point, your intercept. Okay, and this is 1. So as I told you at the beginning, this graph is going to be increasing since here this value is positive. Okay, when it is negative, it's decreasing. The graph is going to be decreasing. So using your ruler, we are going to join our points. Okay. And here we have our graph that is increasing. So that this graph is equal to 1/2 x plus 1, like that. Okay, and this is the graph of this function. Now we are going to use Geogebra to graph our linear functions. Here you have the input where you're going to write your functions by using the keyboard. So our function, one of the functions that we graphed in the class was f of x equal to 1/2 x plus 1. So we are going to type that into our input. So GeoGebra is going to graph it. So you don't need to write f of x. You're just going to write 1/2 x, okay, just using the keyboard, plus 1, and then enter. And here you have the graph. Here you see f of x is equal to 1/2 x plus 1. I didn't type f of x. The software is going to do it for you. So here you can appreciate the intercepts. The intercept in y in this case is 1, and the intercept in x is -2. And the graph is increasing since the value here that goes with the letter x is positive. And that's it.